I'm still bullish on Kaspa, and I'm going to show you exactly why in this video. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. As always, hope you're all having a fantastic day. I want to talk about Kaspa again today because I've seen a bit of FUD over the last week, and I think people are jumping to conclusions a little bit too quickly here. And I've just spotted a potentially very bullish pattern on the Kaspa chart, which for some reason barely anyone is talking about. But let's quickly go over the facts. Yes, we are down about 24% from our all-time high 24 days ago. But we are also up 914% from this time last year. Let that sink in. If you bought Kaspa this time last year and you are currently still holding it, you are up 914%. That is a 5 times higher return than Bitcoin, which itself is up 183% in the last year. That's pretty damn good. Yet, people are still somehow finding a way to FUD the current price action, and it blows my mind. You need to keep in mind, we are doing this well, and we are still not even listed on tier 1 exchanges yet. As I explained in my last Kaspa video, that's because Kaspa is a fair launch token, so when exchanges want to list Kaspa, they need to buy tokens off the open market, which means the trading volume of Kaspa needs to be really high in order for it to be worth it for them to list Kaspa, because they would have to provide the liquidity themselves. And that higher volume will come, especially during this bull market. There are still loads of developments coming up this year and next year. We have the Kaspa Rust language coding in testing. In development, we have upgrade consensus to follow DAG protocol, further increase blocks per second and transactions per second, archival node improvements, and in planning right now, smart contracts implementation. And as I have said now in both of my previous Kaspa videos, I think this will be the big volume driver for Kaspa, and that will ultimately be what leads to tier 1 exchange listings. And also, we are only just now entering this bull run phase, which typically lasts between 12 and 14 months on average. And this isn't just any bull run, this is historic. This is, as I've said in previous videos now, the first bull run that we've ever seen in Bitcoin's entire price history, where the bull run has started before the Bitcoin halving, which isn't set to take place for another 34 days yet. So really, crypto is breaking entirely new ground here. I know it's cliche and everyone always says, oh, it's different this time, but it kind of is. When we get to the point where we're breaking trends that have lasted for Bitcoin's entire price history, it kind of is different. So really, for people to be FUDding on any altcoin right now, especially Kaspa, is just wild. Now, I can appreciate that some people might have bought in at the all-time high, maybe around the 18-cent mark. And yeah, your bag might be down 25% right now, but you need to look at the bigger picture here. One of the best sayings in crypto, when in doubt, zoom out. Because if you don't do that, you're sitting there on the 1 hour chart, you're sitting there on the 15-minute chart. Yeah, it looks terrible. But as soon as you zoom out, you can start to build a structure on the chart and understand the patterns and why the price is doing what it's doing, even despite Bitcoin making its all-time highs right now and altcoins pumping across the board. If you actually take time to look at the structure, it makes sense what Kaspa is doing right now. And I'm going to bring out the charts in just a second here and show you what I'm talking about. By the way, I've just opened my brand new Telegram group, which is currently free to join. It's just a chill place to chat about crypto, chat about the coins we talk about in my videos. I'll leave a link for it in the pinned comment. You should join. Oh, and also just while you're checking out the pinned comment, don't forget to like the video. All that good stuff really helps out, and it's just, yeah, top notch. Alright, here we are on the Kaspa chart, and you will notice we have just broken down from the 14.5 cent, I say 14.5, 145 really, cent level, which continues our downtrend here, and I'll get back into the short-term price action in a second. But first, there is an important pattern that I want to point out here that will make this all make more sense. Just zoomed out here in this view. Some of you might be able to spot it already, but if you haven't, let me explain. I have noticed a trend with Kaspa, and it's actually a simple trend when you break it down. It consists of 2 waves, and then the next leg upwards. 2 waves, and then the next leg upwards. I've charted it out here right from the early days of Kaspa so you can see what I'm talking about. we have these two distinct waves, a little bit of consolidation, and then we see our next leg upwards. And then we repeat the trend. These two large waves, a little bit of consolidation. Now, there is an argument to be made here that there is actually a third wave. You can see it potentially here and here. You could argue that is a third wave, and you could include that in the trend. But we will leave it out for now. I'll come back to that in a moment. But anyway, you can see the two waves here. Consolidation, next leg up. Now you can probably see where I'm going with this. We've seen our next leg. We've had our first wave. We are currently forming our second wave. Now, there are a couple of scenarios that I think could play out from here. First, let me just quickly show you this with the third wave drawn in. There. Up. There. Up. You get the picture. We're going to stick with the two waves for now. Now, to see where we go from here, we need to zoom in a little bit on here and discuss what is currently happening with the price action. Just in the last few hours, we have seen the breakdown from that 0.145 level. And you can see temporarily we did find a little bit of support on this dotted line here at around roughly the 139, maybe the 14 cent level. Now, assuming that we do confirm with this daily candle close that this is in fact a breakdown of both the 145 and the 139 level here, then you can see the next dotted line I have marked out here is at 125, 12.5 cent. And you can see, if you look back here, where that is stemming from. Now, I think how far we come down with this correction is going to depend a lot on what Bitcoin does over the next few days. We take a quick look at Bitcoin here. You can see we have just lost this significant support level here, which was between 68.5 and 69k, and that is significant because that was the prior bull market all-time high back in 2021. Now, our next support level for Bitcoin is down here at around the 65.8 mark. So in the short term, that is where I would expect that to be correcting to. Now, assuming that is the case, I think it is reasonable to assume that we will see Kaspa come down to at least this 12.5 cent level. And if we do end up breaking down from that level, then we would likely be heading down to around this 10 cent level here. Now, let's just zoom out again a second here. Even if we were to break down all the way down to this 10 cent level, that still works with our wave pattern here. The pattern is still perfectly valid if we go down to 10 cent. Hypothetically, we might see move down here, maybe a little bit of resistance here at this 12.5 cent level. Now, depending on what Bitcoin does, we can either continue to consolidate between 12.5 cent and 14.5 cent, which would look something like that. I'm terrible at this drawing stuff. And if we are going with the idea that there is some sort of third wave as well, I would imagine it plays out something like this. We come back down here again. This is the worst chart drawing you've probably ever seen in your life. And then let me just zoom out a bit again. Now, in theory, we then bounce from here and we see our move upwards. That is scenario 1 if we excuse my terrible drawings. Scenario 2 plays out very similar, except we come down to the 10 cent level, have our little consolidation period between 10 cent and 12.5. Then we see this third wave kind of thing before the next leg upwards. And if we zoom out here, I would say that that looks like it makes sense. The main thing that is important for Kaspa right now is holding this 10 cent level. If we go below the 10 cent level, that basically invalidates this whole trend, and then you can start footing, because I have no idea what would happen then. But for now, while we remain in a bull market, I would say that either our scenario 1 or 2 is very likely to be what plays out here. An interesting thing I found as well, actually, that kind of supports this third wave theory more. Even when we zoom right in, right from the beginning, the early days of Kaspa, we can still kind of see the same structure playing out. We have the two waves there. We have what you could call your third wave here. And then you have the leg upwards. And it is interesting to see that that trend has stayed so consistent over the past couple of years, which leads me to believe it is very likely that the same thing will play out again. But yeah, main things to keep an eye on right now, this 12.5 cent level, which is most likely where we're coming down to at the moment, assuming we do close this daily below the 139 level and it's not some massive fake out, which it definitely could be. We have seen that before over here just a few days ago. This candle absolutely could be some big fake out, and honestly with the market the way it is, it wouldn't surprise me. But regardless, keep an eye on this level, keep an eye on the 10 cent level. If we lose the 10 cent level, panic. I'm just kidding, don't panic, never panic. Don't be an emotional trader. Most important thing is the overall market is looking fantastic. We are continuing to head into this bull run despite a slight pullback on Bitcoin here. Most likely targeting the 65.8k level. Worst case scenario, coming down to this 60k level, 62k perhaps. You can see there's significant volume there on the VRVP. Now, as for where this future price action could target, I think the lines I've drawn in here are actually fairly accurate to what we will probably see. Based roughly on the size of the moves previously, I would expect us to target around this 25 cent level, with probably a little bit of resistance at 20 cent. Because both of these, like I've said in my videos before, are significant psychological milestones, and psychology is a massive part of trading. But I just want to circle back again a second to emotions in trading, and the FUD that we've seen with Kaspa over the past few weeks over what is, on the grand scheme of things, such a minor correction when you look at the overall structure of the chart, and especially this trend that we have identified here. The most important advice I can give to Kaspa holders right now, and actually for crypto in general, for traders of any coin, the number one enemy of traders is emotion. If you control your emotions, you control your trades. If you make emotional trading decisions, that's how you lose. Don't panic sell, but don't FOMO either. If you bought a bag of Kaspa at 18 cent and you're down now, it's okay. We're in a bull market. Of course we're going to go back up again. Of course we're going to see new all-time highs. It is very hard to lose in a bull market, and that's what gets a lot of traders complacent. And I know certainly when I first got into crypto, I traded so emotionally. I bought into the hype of everything. I bought the top of everything, and I lost a load of money. I found out. All because I made emotional trading decisions. If I'd taken the time to actually learn anything about crypto before recklessly investing, I could have looked at the data, looked at the trends, and I would have known that it was a terrible time to buy, or a terrible time to take a long or a short or whatever. And to that point as well, if you're a futures trader and you opened a long trade at 18 cent, you should seriously reconsider whether futures trading is for you, because that was a terrible trade. What the hell were you thinking, taking a long at an all-time high, heading into significant psychological resistance at 20 cent? That was obviously gonna fail. There was like a 90% chance that that trade would fail. And actually, that also applies to spot trading. 18 cent was objectively not a great place to buy. We are more likely to reject than not at significant resistance like 20 cent. If anything, it would have been a good place to take a short, and I think I might even have talked about that in my previous Kaspa videos. I feel like there's kind of this misconception that taking a short is like, oh, you hate Kaspa because you're taking a short, you're betting that it's good, the price is going to go down. And that's just not the case. That's an emotional way of looking at it. You're letting your emotions tell you that just because you like something, you shouldn't short it. Even though looking at it objectively, heading into significant resistance is always a good time to open a short. Kaspa could be your favorite coin in the world. I know it's one of my favorites. I love Kaspa, but I took a short and I made profit. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it like this, Kaspa doesn't have a favorite trader, and it's okay for you to have a favorite coin, but at the end of the day, you shouldn't let it affect your trading decisions. Now, don't get me wrong here, I'm absolutely not comparing Kaspa to meme coins, but it's like the hodl mentality of meme coins. this idea that you should never sell or take profits or close your position because you need to be a loyal holder of the coin that at the end of the day doesn't care about you. It's still going to be there whether you're there or not. Now, as I've said, I love Kaspa. I'm always going to hold some Kaspa, but I'm also always going to take profits. And if I see a good opportunity for a short, I'm going to take it. And you should all be doing the same. You don't owe Kaspa a favor, it's just an asset like any other. Yes, the technology is great and the price will probably go up in future, but taking profits is also cool, and having money and all that good stuff. But what's also really cool, if you've made it this far into the video, then I'm guessing you've probably enjoyed it so far, is going down and going to the pinned comment and just above it, just hitting the little like button and maybe the subscribe one as well if you want. But then also just clicking the join button on my Telegram, clicking the link there, and joining my free Telegram group, because that's amazing and we're all just going to have a great time in there. So you should definitely do that. I shall probably be back on Kaspa again at some point in the near future, because the videos get good views, and because I like Kaspa. Anyway, I've been me, you've been you. Thanks for watching, and see you later.